UAV ready for target.
Welcome back. So today we're talking about controller settings. So Deadzone settings and sensitivity settings are some questions that come up a lot on my Twitch live stream. So I thought I'd tackle those today in a video. So before I start, I would once again like to quickly remind you guys that I'm putting out Modern Warfare 2 content as much as I can throughout this grind, documenting the grind to 1,000,000 kills. These are our current stats right here, and let's get into the video without any more further ado. So if you are a gamer, you're probably aware that input delay is a thing on your monitors and TVs. And if you don't, then that's where you want to start. Typically these days, a 1 millisecond delay is standard for basic competitive play, while there are monitors which even have a fraction of that. So check your TV and monitor settings and see what your input delay is. The greater the number, the greater the delay you will have in the game. Okay, so you have a 1 millisecond monitor, so what's next? Well, let's get into the controller settings. So I'll just go down the list of my controller and advanced settings. And right now I'm recording on a Xbox, but I am currently playing on a PC while I'm playing. I'm just recording this off stream on Xbox. So that being said, if you want me to make a video showing my graphics and display settings to stream and play this game on the same PC, make sure to leave that down in the comments below, and that'll make me motivated to make that video as well. Anyways, so here's the settings. We have, I play controller, I play tactical, my stick layout is default, my horizontal and vertical sensitivities are 6. All this is pretty much the same. It's all default, I mean. Sensitivity multiplier, vertical aim axis, aim down sight behavior. You know, all this is default. All this lower stuff. The main stuff on this page would be right here for aiming, like I said, 6.6, and everything else is pretty much the same. Well, and tactical. Now onto the advanced. So for aim assist type, I have Black Ops. I have aim response curve type, which that's the reverse S-curve mapping. And then, okay, so this is the big part of the video right here. So input dead zones. So still to this day, I find that people are confused with dead zone settings, even though they've been around for quite some time now. So what is a dead zone and what does it do? The dead zone of a controller is the distance the stick can move from the neutral position before it starts registering as an input in games. A controller with a large dead zone takes longer to register inputs than one with a small dead zone. So what does that mean? And how do we break this down? So without getting into too much nitty-gritty, you can just say that the lower that you have the minimum, the more responsive initially the input will be. And the maximum is the distance you have to push, or the distance the stick has to register for it to fully register 100%. So if you break down the words, it makes sense. And anyways, when you look at the settings, it kind of makes a little bit more sense without, you know, getting into more diagrams and stuff like that. Okay, so for your left stick, I have mine set to 0, 0, 0. This is where you're going to have a slight variation if you have a stick delay, because if you have a stick delay, then your controller is going to move, or your player rather will move in the game, and you know, it'll look like it's moving by itself without you moving the joystick. So what you want to do is to find your minimum dead zones. What you want to do is set them both to 0, 0, and starting with the left stick. The left stick is your movement stick, so walking forward and walking back, right? So if you set it to 0, 0, and then you unpause it in the game while you're in a match and see if you're walking forward and moving by itself, or if your character's moving by itself. If your character's not moving by itself, then fine, perfect. Like myself, I have a 0, 0 dead zone on my left stick minimum. That is because, like I said, my left stick does not currently have any drift. If I had drift, I might have to bump it up a little bit and then test it. If I'm moving forward still, bump it up a bit, moving forward still, bumping up a bit. That's for the minimum. Okay, so that's for the minimum. And I have my right stick minimum pushed up a little bit more. I think I was at 0.03 or 0.04. Anyways, the right stick is up a little bit more because I just want my right stick to be a little bit less sensitive. It's still really, really sensitive compared to the default, which was like up here. But anyways, like I have it at 0.03, I mean, because like I said, I still want to lower it down to almost nothing, but I want my right stick, which is the aiming. You have to remember, left stick is the movement, right stick is the aiming, like your camera movement. You want that one to be, at least me, I want that one to be a little bit less sensitive, but not, you know, it's still really sensitive. So that is what the minimums are. Well, yeah, that's what the minimum is the minimum is like how responsive it is initially. Like you move your joystick a little bit and it registers. So you want that to be set as low as possible. Moving on to the maximum, we have left stick max and right stick max. These are usually set to 1. I almost said 99, but 1. So I have them bumped down to about 85. Because you'll see here in a second when I run these clips, bugging out controller. When I roll these clips, you'll see that I'm able to snap really fast from target to target. In game, a large dead zone would cause you to take longer to aim from point A to point B. So what we're trying to do here is decrease the size of the dead zone. And we're trying to do that by lowering the max, decreasing the size of the dead zone. So I bumped it down, not too much, because if you bump it down like to, let's say, 45, what that's going to do is cause your joystick to just, like right when you barely move the joystick, it's going to fully reach 100% movement. And it's going to move too quick, at least too quick for me. So that's why it's personal preference, but I like to be right at 85. That's my sweet spot for both the right and left sticks. Maximum. Like I said, I'll repeat one more time. A large dead zone causes you to take longer to aim from point A to point B, so you want to lower the maximums. Moving on to the final 2 dead zone settings, which are the left and right triggers. Left trigger and right trigger both simply put to 0. It's not that common that you get trigger issues where your trigger starts firing by itself, or like where your dead zones get, where you get drift on your joysticks. On your triggers. I've never really heard of that. But yeah, so my controller is perfectly fine with the triggers, so I have them set to 0.00. Like I said before, the defaults are a little different. I don't know what the defaults are, but I know they're higher than 0.00. Move them down to 0.000, unless you have a trigger issue. Okay, so repeat through the video, and or just pause right here and set your dead zones up to this, or actually, like I said, start off with 0, 0 and move your way up to find your minimums. And that's pretty much it for the dead zones. And everything else, there's one more setting that's kind of different. I have the tactical sprint behavior set to single tap run, because I play a lot of shoe house. But other than that, everything else is the same. And I'm going to show you some clips now on what I'm talking about. Hopefully you guys all enjoy the holidays, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.